Tonight, Democratic veteran strategist Robert Zimmerman is here. Also, Mark Thiessen, who's a Fox News contributor and former chief presidential speechwriter to President George W. Bush and a fellow with the AEI. We begin tonight with Mark. Mark, it's hard to digest. They're talking about a lot of foreign countries, and I don't want to dive too deep because it's going to make my viewers' eyes glaze over. But at base, she is accused of helping approve a deal that shifted massive amounts of American uranium to Russia's control. And the quid pro quo here would be what? The millions in donations to her charity and the $500,000 speaking gig to Bill Clinton?
Yeah, so this company, Uranium One, is actually basically was born when Bill Clinton and this Canadian tycoon went to Kazakhstan and got these uranium concessions. He went and Clinton basically went and pitched the dictator of Kazakhstan, and within 48 hours, the mining concessions had been given to this company.
And just to stop you there, just because I want everybody to stay with us. So Kazakhstan had all these uranium, right, these rights in these uranium mines.
Sure,
and the guy who wound up owning the company that preceded, that turned into Uranium One, he wanted them, but he couldn't get them. But he had something that would help him, a friendship with Bill Clinton. So he goes to Bill Clinton and says, how would you like it if I donated millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation? And Bill Clinton, I would like it very much. And before you knew it, Bill Clinton and that guy were on a flight over to Kazakhstan, which most of our viewers are probably saying, where the heck is that? It was far away. And apparently they got a lot of uranium. So they get on a plane, they go over there, they do a little song and dance. Bill Clinton says nice things about the Kazakhstan leader who, you know, was running a terrible country at the time, has all sorts of problems, but Clinton says nice things. And when Bill Clinton goes on the plane back home, suddenly this dude who had promised all the money to the Clinton Foundation, he gets great news from the head of Kazakhstan. You got your interest in the uranium. Here you go. Got it? Right? Is that about it?
That's exactly right. And then the kicker is, right away after that, the Canadian investor gives $31 million to the Clinton Foundation and promises $100 million more. So this is as clear as you can a pay-for-play situation.
So just again, so let me stop you 1 second. So just so the viewers understand, what Mark is doing is he's setting the background for the connections between the Clintons and the man who ran the company that would eventually become Uranium One, which is now run by the Russians. So the Clintons and this team, they go way back, and there's no question that they've been big donors to the Clinton Foundation and must be beloved by Bill.
Exactly. And so then this company merges with a South African company, Uranium One. That requires the Kazakhstan government to approve it. So this Canadian investor gets Bill Clinton to meet with the head of the Kazakhstan mining interest in his house in Chappaqua. They deny that the meeting ever happened until Peter exposes the fact that the guy has acknowledged the meeting and has a picture of it on his wall in Kazakhstan.
I think it was the New York Times reporter who did that. The New York Times reporter, the Pulitzer Prize-winning New York Times reporter who covered this. Pardon me, I forget her name. It's a woman.
Jo Becker.
Jo Becker. Okay, so she actually said, did you have this meeting? And they all denied it, including the Clintons. And then she said, oh, well, I have a picture of you there. And they said, oh.
Exactly.
All right, we did it.
So
once again, it's a connection that was denied that turned out to be true.
Exactly. And the Kazakhstan government approved the deal, and 8 investors into this company give $145 million to the Clinton Foundation soon thereafter. So again, Bill greases the deal. More money to the Clinton Foundation.
And then the third phase of that, I understand, I just want to jump forward. The third phase of that is the one I just walked the viewers through, where Uranium One is born, the Russians control it, they get all this interest in the American uranium mines, and now if we need to build, you know, a nuclear bomb, I guess we have to ask Russia. But the real problem here is establishing that there was a linkage, because I'll tell you the thing that I think most helps her in this circumstance. She wasn't the only one who had to sign off on the deal. The Attorney General, you heard the list of secretaries who had to say it was okay. Sure. And even though there were lawmakers saying, what are we doing? She wasn't the only one who had power over this.
I agree with that, but also keep this in mind. Number one, against the agreement that she had with the Obama administration, they failed to disclose the fact that the chairman of the company that was being bought by Russia, by the Russian agency, the Russian Rosprom, he had given $2 million to the Clinton Foundation. That was not disclosed, so she had a financial interest.
And it was required to be. It was required to be.
It was required by their agreement. And second of all, she didn't disclose, and she didn't recuse. If you have a conflict of interest, you know this from the law in the private sector, if you have a conflict of interest, you have to expose it. She never spoke up. She never said anything. So let's say everything was on the up and up. She had no business voting on that deal or being involved in that committee in any way, shape, or form.
What's interesting is the denial from the family spokesman or the campaign spokesman is there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence of it. I mean, like you get caught, like somebody accuses you of doing something you didn't do, and you say, I didn't do it. You don't say, there is no evidence of that. Right?
There's no controlling legal authority, as Al Gore once said. That's the Clinton mantra. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. You can't prove it.
It kind of jumped out at me as, the non-denial denial. The real denial is going to come next when Robert Zimmerman joins me. He's an advocate for the Clintons, Marco DeCio.